Arturia has been putting out lots of virtual synths over the years. One synth has been painfully missing: their own Minibrute. That void has now been filled with the release of the Minibrute V. But is it any good? Arturia have taken the approach of emulating mostly their Minibrute version 1 and have added functions you cannot find on the hardware versions, like a complete effect section and a quick and easy Unison function. In sound, the Minibrute relies a lot on the filter, as any synth. And the Minibrute uses the Steiner filter, which is 12 decibels per octave. This can get very smooth to very aggressive if you tweak the settings. I think the Minibrute sounds best in the range of its own virtual keyboard. For some reason the character of the synth shines most there. Although an octave higher or lower works well too. You see that range reflected in the presets. There's lots of bass, lead and pad sounds. It's also not hard at all to create a quick mini composition with multiple instances of Minibrute V. Let's start with a short 8-note synth. Duplicate it and offset it with a 16th note and have a slight different sound. Pan the two synths hard left and right. Add a kick. And create a little chord progression. Hey, this could be a disco hit. The way how you create a sound with the Minibrute works differently than a lot of other synths. But first, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, leave a like, and here's a message from our sponsor. The best and easiest way to get your music onto popular streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music is DistroKid. You'll keep 100% of the royalties you earn from your streams. Why not give it a try and see for yourself why so many artists are choosing DistroKid to distribute their music. Use the link in the description of this video to get 7% off of your first year on DistroKid. Minibrute has 5 oscillators. You blend the 5 here and the character you create could be your starting point. This balancing can give unexpected results at times. Check when I change the level of the sub oscillator. Velocity is also key in here. 4 of these 5 oscillators have additional controls here on top. Only noise has nothing to tweak. Each of these oscillator settings have their own special character. To fatten things up a lot, switch on Unison. The number of voices can be changed here below. Too bad this Unison switch comes with a slight delay. Otherwise you could have created some nice dynamics with it. Now you have to program 2 identical synths for that effect. The filter has plenty of options to work with, including the Brute dial. If you dive in the filter envelope, you can tweak the behavior. For even more movement, dive into the LFO. This one is basically always enabled, but as long as you keep these controls at 0, you won't hear it. Changing these dials will give you some nice movement both in upward as downward direction. The arpeggio is pretty basic, but with the right sound it absolutely gives a cool, somewhat retro vibe. And if you play around with the settings, some small changes will give some huge vibes. This set of tools will give you versatile sound options, even electronic drum sounds, although I wouldn't consider it a strong point. The drum sound presets in Minibrute rely heavily on the effects. Each of these 4 effect slots will give you the choice of one of 17 effects. Arturia has included the option to copy-paste effects between slots if you want to change the auto. This is not as user-friendly as, let's say, having an option to simply drag effects like with, for instance, this Kniphonium synth, but it's better than having no option at all. The plugin version I used in this video is a pre-release Arturia sent me, with the notification of one known issue: high CPU usage. Yeah, that is pretty evident, but since Arturia calls this an issue, I think we can assume this will be worked on and hopefully fixed soon. I'm not a huge fan of using perspective in a plugin interface, but here on the Minibrute it has been done well. I didn't have intro pricing when I created this video, hopefully it will be sensible, we'll have to see. As a soft synth, Minibrute is a lot of fun to use with a great sound. Try it out for yourself and see if it fills a gap in your synth collection.